Like life, beat depression. It's day 657, and it's time to give ourselves another dose of heaven with a somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, as you know, the show is martial arts for mental health. Based, our focus being on mental health, and we start every show with a powerful mental health tool known as gratitude. So, for my gratitude section today, it's going to go out to the first one in here, Lisa the Luminary. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate that support. You are going to be my main piece of gratitude. From now on, we'll do just the first person who shows up, because it gets hectic sometimes with people piling in. So, the first person who shows up will be featured in the gratitude section, along with other things to be grateful for. You don't have to stop at one. If you're making a gratitude list for yourself, you can think about multiple things that you're grateful for, and the more you use it, the more it will have a positive effect on your outlook in life. In fact, there's been studies that have shown even asking yourself the question, what do I have to be grateful for today? Even if you don't find an answer, just asking that question can help rebalance the brain, rebalance the hormones, and wind up wiring you for a more positive outlook. So it'll be easier to find those silver linings later in life. And as always, fact check them. Google that stuff. It's up there. Always due diligence when you're looking into how to improve in any area, really, but specifically with mental health. So, Lisa, thank you for being here. Thank you for being the first one. Also want to shout out gratitude to everybody else who's tuned in now. Silky One, thank you for being here. Luca, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. You're all part of my gratitude section today. And I'm also grateful for the fresh air, for the sunlight, for the bob, for the boombox, for the sweet tunes with fighting spirit, and for all the support that everybody's been showing the cause. So plenty of things to be grateful for today. Now think about what you're grateful for, and that will help put you in that positive mindset as we move into today's lesson. Today we're going to talk about body shots. Not the alcoholic kind, but the kind you can use on your depression dummy. And because we have the perfect stand-in for our depression dummy, even though he doesn't have legs, Bob can show us how to improve our technique on those body shots, and we can start targeting organs. So, if you'd like to target some liver shots is what we're going to be aiming for today. And we're going to execute that liver shot. I'll show you where to strike and how to strike properly. And as always, I am a martial arts enthusiast. I've done research, and I enjoy and love martial arts and all the variety of ways that we can use our bodies to express ourselves in somatic healing session. But I'm not a pressure-tested in-the-ring fighter. So if you are a professional fighter out there and you see something that's technically inaccurate, please do let me know. Always shoot me some constructive criticism. We're all here to learn and grow from each other, and I can only teach what I know. So, from what I know, from the studies that I've done, a liver shot's going to happen between the 9th and 10th rib. We're going to step outside of that line, that center line. Oh, but before we do, let's talk about that other mental health tool and address some of these comments here. If this thing works. Silky One sent some love and prayer hands. Appreciate that. Lisa says hi, Timmy. Hey there. Luca said hi. Hey there, buddy. And hey, everybody. I'm grateful for this Act Life team. Yes, it's buzzing. Oh, is the audio buzzing? Is that what you're saying? Let's see if we can fix that. How is that? Audio should be better now. Let me know. Give me some feedback if that audio is not better. We are using a new mic, directional mic. Hopefully it's not buzzing. We might be picking up some radio interference. Let me know. Let me know how that audio is coming out. In the meantime, while I wait for your feedback, shout out to Hello Nurse. Thank you for being here. And the buzz went away a little. Well, I hope that it goes away more. It's a tough spot. There's challenges out here. I try to get a directional mic so we can avoid picking up everything else, but sometimes it picks up a little extra. You hear you still buzzing a little, but we hear you good. It's something about, there's like radio frequency out here somewhere that this mic is picking up. I'm going to figure out what to do about that. Maybe changing angles. We could try changing some angles out here. It might be aliens. You're right. Let's try over there. Let me know how it sounds there. We'll kind of keep it to one or two adjustments. There we go. Bob's in frame. Ready to maintain. Let me know how it's sounding there, if that buzzing went away. I'm pretty sure it's radio interference out here. But while we wait to hear whether or not that buzzing went away, let's talk about that other tool. And Hello Nurse, shout out to Hello Nurse for being here. She said she missed yesterday, but replaced it with dancing. Today is day 8. Heck yeah. A little bit of white noise, we can still hear you. Alright, well, I'm glad you can hear me. I'm hoping to get rid of that white noise. Maybe we'll look into a noise filter or something. We'll figure it out. Upgrades. Progress. That's what it's about. Speaking of progress, let's talk about that other mental health tool. Your daily progress tracking tool. Hello Nurse, let us know. It is day 8, and that is good stuff. 8 days, that's a full week. Beyond a week of progress and success for you. And if you guys are keeping track, it's been 657 days of consecutive training for me, the Sack Man. Let me know how many days it's been for you. And by keeping track of that number, keeping track of the number of days that you show up for yourself and fight forwards, no matter what is in your way, no matter what opposition you are facing, because we all will face challenges every day. But by showing yourself that you can make progress despite those challenges, despite the lies that depression or anxiety tries to sell you, by showing yourself you can make that progress and keeping track of that progress, it lets you know how strong you are. This is your proof of endurance. This is your proof that you are stronger than those debilitating effects of depression. And it's not just the proof of what you have done, but it's the proof of what you can look forward to doing in the future. So I'm excited about today. I'm excited about the next 657 days of progress I'm going to make. I can't wait to see what we're all going to be doing together. And by sharing that number, you can inspire others to make progress as well. Lisa said day 357 of consecutive progress for her. Shout out to Lisa. That's almost a full year of training. That's amazing. Good job, Lisa. I can't wait for you to get to the year mark. We'll celebrate your Sack anniversary, your Sack anniversary out here. And it's going to be a good time. And ask others, like Ken's up there with the big numbers, Lisa's up there with the big numbers, but even a week of consistency is something to be proud of. Even, a month of consistency is something to be proud of as well. Because it's hard to be consistent with anything, let alone an upbuilding self-care routine, something that benefits you both mentally and physically. So please do keep track of that number, share that number, use that list tool. It's good for you, it's good for others too. And it's day 265 for Ken. Thank you, Ken, for sharing that as well. Progress inspires progress, and that's one of the best things we can do for each other, because we can't change people, but we can inspire people by taking care of ourselves first. So, that being said, please do keep track of that number. That's that second mental health tool. Luca said his day is 5. Maybe he needs to restart. You never need to restart, Luca. Even if you've missed the day, your number doesn't go down. You still have the same amount of proof that you had beforehand, right? So if you have 5 days written down, that number will only go higher, even if you miss a day. You don't have to worry about resetting to 0. We don't fall off the wagon. We don't lose progress out here. That progress just builds into more and more proof of how strong and how resilient we are. So don't reset your number to 0 if you've missed or you lost track out there. Just keep adding to that the days that you do show up, because that is valuable proof of your strength. You're strong out there, dude. I know you're a lot stronger than you think, and I know you're dealing with stuff, but you can punch right through it. Not literally, don't punch people, but you can keep moving forwards, and you can show yourself how strong you really are by keeping track of that number. So keep writing it down, keep track of it, let it build up. And Hello Nurse said, keep counting, Luca, heart, heck yeah. That's what it's all about. Keep counting, keep going forwards. 5 is uneven. And he doesn't like uneven numbers. It's all right. I don't know why you don't like uneven numbers, but they're just numbers, man. Wait till tomorrow and it'll be 6, then you'll be back at an even number. No worries. All right, that being said, we talked about the list tool. We talked about gratitude. Let's talk about today's lesson. We're talking about body shots today. We're going to be doing body shots with our depression dummies, body shots with the bob. If you've got one, body shots with the round aqua bag. If you've got one, you can also do body shots on that regular hanging straight bag. I'm talking to you, Lisa, if you still got it out there. If you got that heavy bag at home, to get that even larger experience, that physical release, that somatic healing experience of releasing that frustration, that anxiety, that depression into a physical object. The heavy bag is the one that helped me make that 180 in life. So, Lisa, if you're out there, I'm talking to you. We're going to talk about heavy bag strategy, heavy bag technique, and that's what we're practicing in shadow boxing as well. We're not practicing for competition in shadow boxing. We're not practicing specifically for self-defense, even though some of these moves, and most of these moves, are pressure testable moves you can use in the real world. We're practicing for mental health and the somatic release you can get on the bag. So we're going to talk about technique for the bag, not necessarily for the ring, and then we're going to talk about liver shots, targeting shots, because we have this technical tool here. that'll help us improve our accuracy and our technique. So we're going to talk about some organ shots there, liver shots. Does Haya help me focus? It should help you focus. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, and you can start to tune into those things in your body and really streamline your focus and get into the flow zone. That's what we aim for. Give yourself a challenge every day. As your skill level goes up, increase that challenge, and you can find that flow zone. In that flow zone is defined as a eustress experience. If you look it up, depression, the symptoms of mild to moderate depression and anxiety cannot exist in the flow zone. So that's why we aim for that flow zone when we're training. We're trying to get to that state of mind where we're present in the moment, powerful and capable, fully grounded into what we're doing, giving ourselves a challenge and feeling that growth, feeling that progress as we continue to go. So aim for flow, continue to grow. That's the way. That being said, we'll also have some fighting spirit coming through with those tunes from that sweet 80s boombox out here to fuel our progress. Enough of that, let's talk about the technicals. Let's get back into it. Simon Amaze, shout out to Simon Amaze. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the support. He said, hey everybody, have a wonderful day. Thanks for that, Simon. Appreciate you out there. Now let's talk about the visualized shadowboxing tutorial, then we'll get into the other stuff. So for all of our classes, for every shadowboxing episode that we do, we want to visualize the thing that it is we're going to work on, the thing we're going to make improvement with. So if it's anxiety, we want to visualize a dummy in front of us, visualize a figure of a man or woman, and designate that your depression dummy or your anxiety dummy. Label it. By consciously labeling it, we can reinforce what we do every single day, which is knock those lies right out of depression's face, right out of anxiety's face. So, visualize that dummy, and now we're going to use it to improve our martial arts by squaring our hips and shoulders right with that dummy. Bringing the guard up to the brow line. We're talking about Muay Thai stance today, and we're going to step forward into a nice balanced stance. Dominant hand stays in the back, that's your rear leg. Non-dominant hand in the front, it's the one you don't write with. That's up front, that's your quick hand, the jab, right? Step in, rotate through for those shots. Jab crosses are fundamentals, so we're going to still drill fundamentals all the time, always working on those fundamentals. And we're going to add in body shots today. And for the sake of heavy bag training and getting that somatic release, I'm going to teach you just how to position that hand and arm so that you don't injure yourself. And you can really unload on that bag and feel that release. But if you're in a fighting situation, whether it's self-defense or in the ring, you wouldn't want to drop your hand all the way back here because it would be a tell. It would show the opponent what you're about to do, and then they might be able to easily defend it. So keep that in mind. This is not for the ring. This is for heavy bag training and getting that physical release. So we're talking about Muay Thai stance. We're nice and tucked, chin tucked, squared up with that depression dummy. Close the hands. Remember how to make that proper fist. Remember, it starts with a thumbs up. Close those fingers. Tuck the thumb behind those top two fingers, and now you've got your punching fix, your box there for boxing. And we're going to keep that wrist nice and straight all the way through those punches. Guard high, shift that weight from the front to the back. We're going to step into a 1-2, and then we're going to drop that other arm, the arm that's now preloaded. Remember, everything loads up, sets up that next shot for a nice flow-based session and adding power to that rear shot. We're going to drop that rear hand down, locking the elbow at about 90 degrees. Keep it locked in at 90 degrees. Wrist nice and straight. Palm is turned up towards us. Fist is the same. Still with that thumb tucked behind the top two fingers. And we still want to land on those knuckles. Now for the heavy bag, what we're going to do, we're going to step in, rotate through to the cross, drop that arm, locking it in at 90 degrees, pointing it at the bag. We're going to fire from the hip. Our weight's going to carry through the hip. And we're going to drive that fist forward, boom, into that bag, at center mass on the bag. Landing on those large two knuckles and really putting our body weight behind it, whoosh, as we go. If you're shadow boxing, exhaling hard here can help get even better release, can also add power to the shot by engaging the core when we're striking. So let's talk about that one more time. We're stepping into the 1, the 2, dropping the arm to 90, palm facing up, fist tucked in proper fist punching form, and we're going to turn, rotate through, boom, from the hip, fire in that shot straight forwards and stopping that fist in the guts of that depression dummy. We'll talk about the liver shot and I'll illustrate on the bob if you've got a bob. But for the heavy bag, these center mass shots, boom, boom, they're perfect for that somatic release. excuse me. So just a little more on that. So step into the 1, rotate for the 2, drop the fist to 90, locking that elbow in at 90, fire through the hip, turning on the ball of the front foot and sending that fist forward. Stop it where your visualized dummy is and visualize doing damage to that depression dummy. For the alternate punch, we're going to bring this one back to defend the head right after making contact. We're going to drop the rear fist down, locking that elbow in at 90 degrees again. Straight wrist, tuck those fingers, thumbs up, right? Tuck that thumb for proper fist. And we're going to fire through with our guard high now. Fire through the hip, rotating on the ball of the rear foot this time. And sending that rear body shot forwards into that depression dummy. Stopping it where that visualized target is. And Claire's doing chemo on Monday. I wish her good luck. I know she's a fighter. She's going to punch right through that stuff. Claire is an amazing inspiration out there. Check her out when you can. Shout out to Salvo Lupo and Carol Paradox. That's my mom. Love you, Mom. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate the family support. All right, so let's get back into it. We talked about those body shots, right? We got the jab cross, and then we're dropping the fist to 90, firing from the hip for the body shot, dropping the other one to 90, firing through for the body shot there as well. Now we're going to talk about a liver shot for that technical improvement since we have the Bob here to help us. So for the liver shot, when we're squared up with our opponent, right, hips and shoulders squared, what we're going to do is step off, kind of stepping in off that center line and turning forwards. We could start with a slip, right, covering up that front with that front hand and twisting those shoulders so that we're preloading the fist that's going to fire. We're going to sink a little bit on that front knee and then come up on an angle. And the strategy is almost the same here. We're dropping that fist down to 90 degrees. We're driving up, kind of lifting on that front foot, digging that fist up. And we're aiming for the 2 ribs, the 9 and 10 rib on an angle towards the spine. And that's going to send that force right into the liver, shutting down a potential opponent. We land a nice clean shot. So I'll illustrate here on the Bob. Hopefully you can see. I think you can see it, right? So we're squared up, hips and shoulders are squared with our target. We're going to step off to the side, turning, preloading that rear shoulder, and we're going to sink a little bit, and then come up, boom, come up, and hit them right on those lower ribs, 9 and 10, angled towards the spine, really digging in and pushing off that front foot, boom, to deliver that force into the body, ricocheting that liver and shutting them down in the ring or a self-defense situation. I've seen everybody goes for the head and they think the head's the main thing, hit the head. But those body shots can really turn someone off, if you know what I mean. So check it out. Liver shots, super powerful. Can I put my thumb inside my hand, or is that bad? That is bad. You don't want to put your thumb inside your hand because you can break your thumb that way. When the impact from the strike comes in, you can actually break that thumb. So you want to make sure that the fingers are closed and tucked, and the thumb is behind the fingers, back here, out of the way of damage, keeping the wrist nice and straight, and we're landing on those large 2 knuckles. That way we do the most damage to our opponent and the least amount of damage to ourselves. So make sure you're not grabbing that thumb. That's a bad, very bad technique. So stay away from that. Keep the thumb on the outside. You'll be nice and safe. Good stuff. Thank you for the question, by the way. Questions are how we get better. So if anybody has questions out there, feel free to ask before we get into the lesson. That being said, I think we covered all the bases. We talked about body shots. We're going to mix them into those variable combos using the jab cross as well. We'll have our standard round, 3 rounds each, 3 minutes each, 1 minute break to catch your breath, drink some water, check in on yourself. Make sure you're aiming for that flow zone when you're training and you're pushing to your skill level. You can moderate speed, volume, and intensity. Those are all things in your control. Shout out to Thor306 for joining. I appreciate you out there. And make sure you got water and you're staying hydrated. We're going to get those tunes going. We'll start this timer, and we're going to get into some body shots, drill some combos, and get a little technical since we have that Bob with us, that awesome Bob school. All right, let's do this thing.
Bluetooth pairing.
I've built these beats to train to, and you can find them all on Spotify. at sacklifeofficial.com as the artist. All these beats raise awareness to those free mental health tools. Feel free to use them in a training video, and we'll repost you on the main page so we can all raise awareness together. Let me know. All right, let's pop back into it and get ready. Here we go. Cup of water ready, says Ken. Good stuff. Pop into stance. Muay Thai stance, and if there it is, pop into Muay Thai stance, square up with that visualized target, and start shifting that weight forwards and backwards from the front calf to the back calf. Roll those hands to carry that rhythm, tuck the chin, and we're gonna step in for a 1-2, 1-2, turning those fists over, landing on the knuckles. Remember, close the fingers, tuck the thumbs, roll the fists, keep that pace going. Step in, 1-2, exhale hard on those strikes, 1-2, right down the center line, right into the face of that depression dummy, landing on those knuckles, turning those fists over, boom, boom, and keeping those thumbs tucked out of the way of damage. Let's go. Exhale hard in there. 1-2, keep it moving. 1-2, right down that center line. 1-2, and back to stance. Now we're gonna start adding in those body shots. So we're gonna go 1-2, drop that rear hand, lock in the elbow at 90, drive through the hip, and send it forward, stopping it where the guts of that depression dummy are. Bring it back to the head. We'll drop the other one to 90, angle it in, right? Rotate through the hips on the ball of the rear foot and drive that fist forwards into the guts of that dummy as well. Back to stance, let's go. Step in for the 1-2, pop, pop. Drop that fist to 90, exhale hard, and drive it forwards into the guts of that dummy. Back to stance, let's move. Let's make it a 3-hit combo here. 1, 2, 3. From the body, boom, from the hips, and back to stance. Let's go, let's flow with it. 1, 2, 3, and back. 1, 2, 3, and back. You want to make sure you're rotating those shoulders into those strikes. Step in for the 1, twist through those shoulders. Rotate through the 2, twist in through, and then rotate for the 3, the body shot. Sinking a little bit on those knees there to get that strike a little bit lower than where it would be up top. Back to stance. Let's hit him in the head 2 times. Pop, pop. 1 to the body. 1 body shot. Back to stance. 1, 2, 3 combo. Boom, boom, boom. And back. Let's go. Twist through it. And back. And back. And back. 3 shots. Try and keep that hand guarded. When one hand is not striking, it should always be guarding the face. This is something I got to work on as well going into that 3rd strike. Let's work on that defense and bringing the hands back to the head. Step in for the 1, the 2. Bring this back to guard and rotate for that body shot. Back to stance. Let's go. 1, 2, and back. Keep it moving. 1, 2, 3. Tuck that chin. And back. And back. Rotate through those shoulders. And back. Square up. And work at your level. Let's go. And back to stance. 1 more time. And that's the end of round 1. Catch your breath, drink some water. Check in on you. We're going to add in that 2nd body shot on round 2. And then we'll start getting into the technicals of the liver shot. Illustrated by the Bob Dummy. Feeling good. I hope you're pushing to your level and giving yourself a challenge. We got 42 seconds to catch our breath and drink some water. Remember, we're not here to compete with each other. We're here to compete with ourselves. Give yourself a challenge. That means don't push to my level or anybody else's. Push to your level for today. Dial your intensity in for today. Forget about what you did yesterday or what you're going to do tomorrow, and tune in to the here and now. Here and now is when we can make progress. So let's challenge ourselves together. So that way we can grow together and flow together. Ooh, 8 seconds. Let's do it. Let's get into this next one. We're going to start it the same with the jab cross, but this time we're going to fire both of those body shots from the hip. Let's do it together. Step in for the 1-2, pop 1. Rotate for the 2, drop the hand to 90, drive through the hip. Now as this one comes back to defend the head, the other one's going to drop down to fire from the hip as well. We're targeting that center mass, targeting that belly, targeting that bag, and driving through on the ball of the back foot, turning those hips to carry that body weight forwards. Boom, Driving that fist into the belly of the depression dummy. Back to stance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do them together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to stance. Want to sink a little bit for those body shots. And then back to position. Step in for the 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to stance. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to stance. Keep bringing that guard back after each strike. 1, 2, 3, 4. And drive it. Drive that body weight through the hips, through the balls of the feet, through the hips, and then into the fist, into the target, into that center mass. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to stance. Bring the hands back. Oh, that was wrong. Messed up. Squat. Back to stance. Let's do it. Reset. Square it up with that depression dummy. Step in for the 1. Rotate for the 2. Rotate for the 3. Rotate for the 4. And back to stance. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twist those shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to stance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Visualize that target. Visualize doing damage to that depression dummy's face. 2 to the face. 2 to the belly. And back to stance. Let's go. Back in. One more time. Keep moving. 4-hit combo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Square up. Make sure your knees are bent. That'll allow the rotation on the ball of that foot a little bit more. Make it easier to execute these strategies. Back to stance. Step in for the 1. Rotate for the 2. Sink on those knees a little bit. Drive through the hip. Drive through the hip. Back to stance. Let's go. Back in one more time. Now we're going to drill some body shots. No more jab cross. We're just going to fire some body shots in succession. Try and keep that body weight centered, right? Chin tucked. Work on throwing that fist forward and bringing it back. Forward and back. 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 See if you can angle those shoulders. Get that body weight behind it and really feel that force start to flow in there. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. You can use vocalization to add power as well with those strikes. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Keep them nice and centered. And work for you. That's the end of round 2. Catch your breath. Drink some water. We may drill some more body shots in round 3, but we're going to start getting into that liver shot, that technical shot with Bob in round 3. Ooh. It's nice and hot out here. Hope you're taking care of yourself, checking in on your surroundings. Those are going to affect your performance as well, so make sure you're setting reasonable standards for yourself in any given situation. Alright, 21 seconds. We're going to start talking about that liver shot, that organ targeting shot to shut down an opponent. So we're going to step in for this one and cover up on that trail side. Cover up with that power hand. Boom, cover up the head. This slip here is also preloading us for that liver shot. And when we step forward, we want to sink on that front foot a little bit. Step forward, sink on it. Angle those shoulders, dig, right? Dig and come up, whoosh, pushing off on the front foot and driving those knuckles up into the ribs, about 9 and 10 down on the ribs. Lower 2 ribs, want to go on an angle, try and get under those ribs. Send that shockwave in to damage that liver. So let's practice it together. Square up with that depression dummy. Step off, right off the line, sinking on that front foot and covering up with the front hand, right? Covering up, creating that shield, keeping everything tucked in tight. And we're gonna dig here, sink on that front foot a little bit, drop that fist down again, 90 degree on the elbow, fist turned up, and we're gonna push off that front foot, whoosh, as we come up in a digging strike into those 9 and 10 ribs. So I'll show you what it looks like on Bob. Here's our standard right jab, cross, then we're gonna step off the line, cover it up, dig on that front foot, and drive that fist up on an angle, catching up, whoosh, right in those ribs, sending that shockwave into the liver, shutting them down. So let's practice it together. Step in for 1, 2, whoosh, whoosh, back to stance. Now step off that line, covering up the slip, we're gonna dig, so drop that rear shoulder, sink on that front foot, and then pivot, whoosh, pivot on that foot, whoosh, and kind of push up off that front foot at the same time, like you're digging, whoosh, digging forwards, up on that angle, capping those ribs. Let's do it again. Step in for the 1-2, whoosh, whoosh, back to stance, step off the line, off that center line, dig with that fist, sink on that front knee, pivot, and drive it up, almost like an uppercut. It's in between an uppercut and a body shot. You're gonna come up under those two ribs, bam, damaging that liver, and back to stance. Step in for the 1-2, whoosh, whoosh, step in for the liver shot, off the line, digging on that front foot, whoosh, get that body weight under it, angle those shoulders, drive that shoulder rotation on your way up. Make sure you're lifting, you got that lifting force in there. Let it whip right in to that rib cage. Step in for the 1-2, back to stance. Step in for a few body shots, normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to stance, square it up. Step in for the liver shot. Let's do it. Cover up, dig on that front knee, boost, and rotate through, boost, bam, into those ribs. Back to stance. Exhale hard on that strike for added power. Step into the 1-2. Back to stance, step in for some body shots. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Back to stance, let's work that liver shot. Off the line, whoosh, bam, there it is. Back to stance. Liver shot one more time, off the line. Bam, there's the dig, and that is the end of round 3. Time's flying. Having so much fun out here with you guys and with our new depression dummy stand-in, Bob. I hope you guys are having fun too. I hope you're finding room to improve in technique, improve in form, and if you can get access to one of those somatic healing tools, heavy bag, aqua bag, or Bob training dummy, please do. Get yourself to a gym, get yourself to a martial arts studio. All these places are going to have unlimited resources for you to get those somatic releases, and also a lot of other things, self-discipline, self-control, plenty of good philosophy in the martial arts community, enhanced social support system as well. We've got this, our daily social support system virtually, but there's only so much we can do in a half hour every day. So remember, always give yourself that challenge. And if you didn't challenge yourself to your limit for today, go out there and give yourself a bonus. Give yourself a bonus time on those heavy bags, on that Bob, or get out there and get into a martial arts studio. Until next time, Matt with Hat said, woo, wow, dudes. Heck yeah, that's what I want to hear. Sounds like you were pushing to your level, and that's good stuff. There's no growth without a challenge. Make sure you're not stuck in that comfort zone. That comfortable cage called the comfort zone prevents us from progress. Make sure you're giving yourself a challenge. That way you can see that continued growth, and you will only get stronger day by day on this unlimited avenue of progress and success we call martial arts for mental health. Until next time, catch you same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life, sack man out. Oh, Hello Nurse said I had to crawl back to my phone. Good challenge. Good stuff. That's what I want to hear. Pushing it out there, making that progress. Catch you guys later. Sack man out.